What's up everyone, it's Sing and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So in today's video, we are going to be doing something a little bit different from my normal content, and today I'm super excited to show you guys how I make my thumbnails for my YouTube channel. Ever since I started posting new journey content on my YouTube channel, a lot of you guys have been asking for a thumbnail tutorial. So I thought I'd finally give it to you guys in today's video. So before we get started with the tutorial, make sure to hit that like, subscribe, and bell button in order to be notified for videos just like these, and also make sure to follow me on all my social media platforms, as well as join my Discord server, so that way you don't miss any updates or live events happening on my channel, and you can stay within the loop of all things Z Squad. Alright, without further ado, let's get right into the video.
I just kill my ex, not the best idea. You'll think your friend next now. I can hear. I just kill my ex. I still love you, rather be in love.
Alright, so before we get started with the tutorial, I do want to let you guys know what kind of devices you need and what type of apps that I use in order to make my thumbnails. So for the basic pictures and snapshots of the new journey characters that you guys see on my thumbnails, I use my computer, and then I transfer those pictures onto my phone later on to edit them using mobile apps. If you don't have a computer or laptop, you can always use your phone, but keep in mind that a Roblox screenshot on your computer will have much higher quality than one on your phone. So the two main apps I use for my thumbnails are Pixar and Fonto. And then you'll obviously need Roblox, your Photos app, and Safari. To transfer items from your phone to your computer, if you are doing it through my method, you can also use an app called Send Anywhere, which I'll get onto later in the video. So in today's tutorial, I'm going to be focusing more on the new journey aspect of thumbnails and Marvel games, but this can also be applied to any basic Roblox game thumbnail. The first step is to gather screenshots of characters within whatever game you're working with. So for example, a lot of my new journey content is based around characters in my thumbnails that are skins in the game. And I do this by going into my new journey private server and taking screenshots of different characters. The screenshots vary on the type of character you're dealing with and what you want them to do. It may sound confusing, but for example, if I want to do a tournament thumbnail, I want my characters to kind of be in action or like hitting each other with their powers. So that's when I need the help of my staff team or someone else so I can take screenshots of them doing those moves. However, if it's a video that's more simpler or I just need the character on the video, then I can obviously take the screenshot myself. I don't know if that makes sense, but basically what I'm trying to say is if you need the character to do something in your thumbnail, it's easier to take a picture of someone else doing it. But if you just need the character in your thumbnail by themselves, you can always take that screenshot by yourself. So for today's thumbnail that I'm going to be showing you guys, I was working on my most recent tournament thumbnail. And for this, I really wanted the characters of Agatha all along and Madeline. So I called in my staff team members and they performed these actions for me while I did a screen recording. That way, when I was done with the recording, I was able to go back and screenshot specific clips of where I think the character looks good. After you're done with your recording and your screenshots, you're going to gather the character's screenshots you have and crop them so that way they're very specific to the character. This is very essential because you're going to be removing the background of these characters, so it's important to have as much as crop as you can so that way the website doesn't get confused when it's removing your background. Once you have your cropped screenshots of whatever character you're going to be using, I also like to take a screenshot of whatever background I'm going to be working with. In my personal opinion, I love to have the background of whatever game I'm using. So for example, I'll take a bunch of screenshots from Harm Room. Also, if you need high quality Harm Room screenshots, you can also go to my Harm Room update video because I do a whole montage of the map in there. So the next step is removing the background of the characters within your thumbnail. And for this, I use a website called remove.bg. What this website does is if you upload a photo, it'll automatically remove the background for you, and it works great for Roblox characters. In order to have the full HD version of the removed photo, you do need to subscribe to their website, but I honestly just think if you do the preview version and download it, it doesn't make that much of a difference. And by the way, you can also edit the picture to be high quality in the future regardless. So once you have your transparent images of your Roblox characters and your background, this is when you're ready to move on to your mobile device, or I like to move on to my phone. To transfer images from my computer to my phone, I use an app called sendanywhere.com. Basically, you can go to your computer and go to this website, and you can add in whatever images or videos you want to send to your phone, and it'll give you a code. Once you download the app on your phone, you can put in the code, and those files will be received automatically to your iPhone gallery. So now, once your images are transferred, let's move on to your phone. So first, I will use Pixar, and I'll open up a new project and basically select the image that I want my background to be, which in this case is this harm room background for my tournament. I then go ahead and crop the background to the ratio 16:9, and then for this thumbnail specifically, I'm just tilting the background so it looks like it was taken in like an action mode or whatever. Then I go ahead and I blur the background a little bit so that way the focus is on the characters. Now it's time to add the first character, which in this case will be Agatha all along. I add her in as an image overlay, and then I adjust her brightness and her contrast a little bit. And then I go ahead and add in her shadow. I usually do 100 blur and usually 75 opacity, and make sure the position is at 0. And then I go ahead and drag her to wherever I want her on the thumbnail, which for this one, I'm gonna put her in a little corner so it looks like she's throwing a spell to Madeline as she's running away. Next, what I like to do is go to the PixArt stickers and use this purple glow sticker. You can find any type of glow by searching up the color and the glow. And I put this behind the Agatha skin and lower the opacity a little bit so it looks a little natural. Once I'm done with that, I usually go ahead and add in whatever character powers I'm working with. I already have some images of overlays that I've gotten from online, but the PixArt stickers work just as good. And then I adjust the powers to the character's hands, or basically this is where I play around and edit. So next up, here's me adding the character of Madeline, and as you can see, she's supposed to be in kind of a running position. And I again changed her brightness settings a little bit, added in the shadow, and then I go ahead and add a glow and some powers for effect. As you can see, I'm also erasing some of the powers, and you can do this by clicking the erasing tool. This is just to make it look more natural and not like it was just put together. You can also click that little tool on your right, and it'll show you the order of whatever your images are in, and you can just keep adjusting and locking the images as you go, so that way they don't move around and mess with you afterwards. Here, I'm just adding a skull emoji sticker because my tournaments usually have this, and then I'm basically making a little tournament emoji with these swords, and it can hide well in the background to make it look nice. So once your positioning is done with your stickers and your characters, I usually go ahead and save the image there and not apply any effects until I've added the text over the thumbnail, which is going to take us over to Fonto. So once you open up Fonto, you're going to click the little camera icon and click photo albums and select the image that you just created on PixArt. Then once you tap the image a couple times, the add text option will appear. And here I'm adding my basic tournament logo that I have on all of my thumbnails. You can also upload your own fonts into Fonto or use their pre-generated fonts. Either way, they're all really nice. Once I have my tournament text added on, I usually adjust the color and then add in some shadow and make it look nice. You can also save presets of whatever font or text you have. And then once your text is positioned correctly, you just save the image as a PNG on Fonto. And now it's time to go back to PixArt. Here, I've just opened the image that I just edited on Fonto. You're going to click on FX, the filters basically, and here are the filters I add to my thumbnails. These filters are found in the simple and FX categories of filters. So first, I add a little bit of film 2, then I go ahead and add about 50% of HDR1. To make it pop more, I add a little bit of saturation, and then I add a vignette, but usually I make this a different color so it makes the thumbnail pop look overall. And then finally, I close it off with sharpen to make the thumbnail really high quality. So those are all of my filters basically done, and all of my thumbnails have a white border around them. So I'm gonna go ahead and click on border. I click inside, make the outer to 0 and the inner to 5 and the opacity to 100. And then my thumbnail is finally done and ready to use. Here is the finished product, and the reason I love making my thumbnails like this is because they end up being super high quality, and they also look like they were made by someone without just simply taking a screenshot from the game. So yeah, that brings me to the end of my thumbnail tutorial. I really hope you guys enjoyed this and it helped you with whatever channel or game that you're doing. Please let me know in the comments if you have any questions or if some parts of this tutorial were confusing. I'll try my best to help you guys. But yeah, that brings me to the end of today's video. I really hope you guys enjoyed. Please take care of yourselves, and I'll see you in the next one.